What is up? It's the Fit Gear Hunter, and today we're going to talk about the review that I think needs to be done for the new Garmin Fenix 8. And that's to compare it to the Forerunner 965. As I was doing reviews and posting like Amazon links, I noticed the 965 is like $500 on the most recent time I looked it up on Amazon to put in a link on the video. And the Fenix 8 AMOLED 47mm stainless steel, cheapest model, is $1,000. And there's all these reviews of like, should you go with the Enduro 3 at $900? And I have a whole review about that where I disagree with that. Like the Enduro 3 is the discounted Fenix 8, but if you look at the AMOLED model of the Fenix 8, it crushes, in my opinion. The Enduro 3 is not comparative to the Fenix 8. You just look at the AMOLED, it's worth the $1,000 over the $900 Enduro 3. But if you look side by side at what do you really get with the Fenix 8 that you couldn't also get with the Garmin Forerunner 965? And that is the question, because that's what I'm wrestling with. I'm coming from a daily use of the 965, and I think about the things I use it for, the functions in my life that the watch comes into handy for. The most primary plain one is as a watch with a pretty screen with a reasonable battery life. Obviously I work out every day, but the workout defines like an hour and a half of my day. That leaves 22 and a half other hours for just using it as a watch. And when I look at the use case of the 965 versus the Fenix 8, what do I love about the Fenix 8? Now, I think the Fenix 8 is the best designed, most beautiful watch, best build quality, all of it that I've ever tested by far. I do think it's worth a lot of money, more so because I have tested, seen, or at least considered some of the premium watch manufacturers and some of their e-watches and stuff like that. But like Citizen's got one and Tag Heuer's got one. But when I look at the Fenix 8, it's beautiful, but when I look at 965, what do I get at the same time? I love that the Fenix 8 has a 1.4 inch screen, but the 965 already had a 1.4 inch AMOLED screen. I love that it's a 47mm case, but the 965 already has a 47mm case. So the screen ratio to size of the casing has always been that good with the 965. On the 965, I love that it's got, always on display and, long battery life if you also use always on display, about a week's time. And the Fenix 8 is getting about a week's time. Now the Fenix 8 is, I've been using the 965 for a while. It's burning about like 1% less battery life every 12 hours. So it's gonna last longer. Or flip side, the 965 is burning 1% more battery life every 12 hours, something like that. I tested it, but I'm not gonna worry about the specifics. But when you look at that, you just think, well, it's getting the same battery life as well. So you have the big, beautiful screen, the same case size to screen ratio, the same battery life with always on display. So your watch use case is the same in a lot of ways. Now, the Fenix 8 has a microphone and a speaker, and it connects to voice assistant, or it has voice control. I'm not having a great experience with that. You can use the assistant where I go to Siri, go to my iPhone, and but it takes like 5 seconds to really connect to everything. It works okay, but there is a major Achilles heel with the design of the Fenix 8, and I don't know when I'm going to talk about it in more of a full review of the Fenix 8. The speaker is terrible. Like, the speaker is not loud. I tried to make a call with the Fenix 8. That's basically a function that it does not exist. To me, using it like an Apple Watch where you're like talking to somebody on there, it's not useful. I mean, it's not usable. So that's no longer useful. So the only use case would be to connect to your voice assistant, like your phone, and to set reminders or do whatever you normally do. But I don't do that much, and it takes like a 4-second delay, so I'm more inclined to pick up my phone and just do it directly, although I have used it at some points. That's a minor difference in the overall watch experience. But other than that, I feel like I have great experience with the screens, great experience with the battery life, great experience with the size. The 965 is lighter. I don't really care about that as much. I don't like the design of the 965 as much because it's got the dome display, and so it feels more fragile, and the Fenix 8 feels more rugged. It's got a flat display, it's got a nice bezel, everything feels more solid, and that is much more appealing to me. So yeah, there's a win for the Fenix 8 there for literally 200% of the cost. But when you look at the 965, I'm just thinking, you know, it's very much the same on the actual use case. If you go to workouts and I go to what I see on a workout, I see the same data screens. It's the same visual, like I can still see all the information. I can still get the layouts the same. There's a little font differences in the Fenix 8, and I love the font differences. I love the new numerical fonts that they're using, the way that numbers look. I don't love the way the 965 looks. I don't love their sort of childish fonts. I don't know how to describe it, that they use for the 965. But if I go to a workout, I see all the data. It's all clearly laid out. It's all visual and visible. I go to the workout, at the end of the workout, all the same in analytics, all the same like scrolling through, all the same like what's the recovery time, what's the, you know, the aerobic and anaerobic training effect, what's the load, what's the, you know, impact of the rigor of the workout. It's all the same. So that's the same. So the morning report, so like what I get when I wake up in the morning, it's the same report. It's the same. It looks the same. Even like the background quality of like the, you know, like the picture of the day. So like, this is not a good use case. What I showed you is that today was like foggy, and so it was just sort of blasé on the screen, but it's the same on the morning report. It's the same on like how you could do the layouts, how you could scroll through. I'm not finding a lot of differences. And side note, if you buy the stainless steel Fenix 8, it does not come with topological maps preloaded, and the 965 does. So out of the gate, you've got like big tilt maps. It's the Fenix 8 has all the memory capacity, sapphire versus stainless steel, but the Fenix 8 stainless steel, which is the $1,000 model, which I don't think you should even consider. I think that's the one to go with. It doesn't include topological maps. So you have to go this weird process. I haven't figured it all the way out to figure out how to download the topological maps. I know you can do it. It's just like I got the computer out, I got a USB cord. Anyway, that's still, but the 965 has it all built in, and they're awesome. And it's like, so some of the user interface differences are real. Some of the user interface differences are, you know, like the Fenix 8 has smarter, more intuitive user interface, but it's not so profound. It's not so transformative and different that it's like, holy cow, the 965 is from yesteryear. The 965, oh my gosh, look at how archaic the user interface is there. It doesn't feel that different. It doesn't feel that profound, even if it's smarter, even if it's better, even if the touch screen, you can now swipe down and you can make the touch active and unactive, and you can go in between the two. And I do not think that Garmin is under any pressure. I don't think they should have to update the 965 to make it the same user interface. I think there's different processors. I think there's different iterations. I think there, you know, it shouldn't have to go all the way down the line. And I do think that they trickle down a lot of benefits already. This is a major step forward in how they're doing the user interface. I don't think a transformed user interface should flow downhill to previous watches in this particular case. So I disagree that all the people complaining about that. But I just think the 965 at $500 versus $1,000, that's the discussion. That's the question. That's the issue. Is there a difference in the heart rate? Yes. So the heart rate monitor on the 965 is the Elevate 4.0. That is different than the 5.0. It is a big difference, not because it lacks skin temperature or ECG. Okay, here's my opinion about skin temperature and ECG, and then we'll go back to heart rate. I think skin temperature is really worthwhile for sickness tracking, for health tracking. Garmin does not incorporate it in a way where they make it clearly visible if there was a pronounced change in your temperature overnight, which is what they should do. But right now they don't. It's just buried in like a hill of stats in your sleep. And so it's not useful. So having skin temperature doesn't matter because they don't use it. And that to me is the real failure, but it's either way. The Elevate 5.0 has skin temperature tracking, doesn't matter because it's not being used, it's not being promoted forward. So it's like it's not there for me. The ECG, I think people, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that could use ECG for some benefit, but in all honesty, I just think ECG is stupid. I mean, I don't think it, most people just don't need it. And you know, like most people don't engage the ECG sensor. It's not like they're running reports every day or every other week, or I don't know that it's providing any value in this world, but I don't know enough about the situations, the use cases for when people would need it and do use it. So to me, the Elevate 5.0 is all about accuracy. And in a workout, if you are dependent on the heart rate sensor alone, the Elevate 5.0 is definitively better in tracking accuracy than the Elevate 4.0. So back to the main point of the difference of the heart rate sensor. It is different. So you will get like more definitively less accurate results from the Elevate 4.0 than you would the Elevate 5.0 because you have 6 diodes going, or is it 8 diodes on the Elevate 5.0 versus 2 going on the 4.0 on the 965. So the heart rate sensor is much better, but I 1,000,000,000% still find 2 felt of inaccuracy on the Elevate 5.0, the newest heart rate sensor, the sensor you would get on the Fenix 8. I find too much inaccuracy for high intensity workouts that involve wrist flex. So I don't think it is like you just strap that thing on your wrist and trust it's good. No way. So I would say you have to, if you're doing intense workouts and if you do CrossFit, you should not be utilizing because you're using like wrist wraps or hand wraps, you're moving the watch all around. You should be using an external heart rate sensor if you want to get good data out for the workout analysis and for the recovery needed. So the Elevate 5.0 is a non-issue if you're doing super high intensity. You should use an external sensor, therefore they're the same. 965, Fenix 8, all the same because you're using an external sensor. And all the analytics are the same. So that is my summary, soup to nuts, top to bottom. The daily life, the use, the feel in the workouts, after the workouts, sensor quality for the workouts, all the design things that are different. I think there is an incredibly bigger debate that needs to go on for whether the, you know, like 965, literally $500 watch versus the Fenix 8 47mm AMOLED $1,000 watch. And that's what this video wanted to bring to discussion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's the Fit Gear Hunter. Thanks so much for watching.